Our top story, Chatham County introduced a new computer-aided dispatch or CAD system to improve its 911 response times. That was last fall.
Since then, residents are still reporting issues with response times. WSAV's Sarah Smith is joining us to share neighbors' concerns.
Well, we're told by residents there have been several instances where people who live in the Southbridge community have called emergency 911 as well as the non-emergency line, and no one picked up, or it took at least 30 minutes for an ambulance to show up. One nurse in that neighborhood is taking matters into her own hands to protect her family and others.
So since moving here about 6 years ago, I noticed that the healthcare, emergency services, it was great, and then all of a sudden it just wasn't great anymore.
Kathy Towers lives in the Southbridge neighborhood, tucked away in a peaceful area of Chatham County. But she and her husband have considered moving. This after the recent issues with emergency 911.
I told my husband, I said, if we could pick up our house and move it somewhere else, maybe just right outside Southbridge, then I'd feel more comfortable. But I want to know that if there's something wrong with me, that I'm going to get be able to call and get the care.
15% of E911 calls were left unanswered last year, according to Deputy Director Russ Palmer.
Had a neighbor down the road that had to call 911 because a family member was having a stroke. They didn't show up, and they didn't show up, and they called again. They didn't show up, so he had to drive his wife to the emergency room during a stroke.
Fearing for her life and the lives of several others in her area, she paid thousands of dollars for her own AED and other life-saving tools. She says she has told several people in her neighborhood that if they're ever in need, to call 911 and then call her so she can begin life-saving efforts.
I have driven one person to the hospital just because you don't want to wait. That shouldn't happen. I mean, this is scary. It scares me to the point that I don't think I want to retire here, because when you retire, you need that medical. You need to be confident in your medical, and if you can't be confident in it, you've got to go elsewhere.
As this area continues to grow and attract more visitors, Towers says these emergency dispatch centers have to step it up.
It's not necessarily just certain months out of the year. It's all year round. People come here to tourist. I mean, Savannah's a beautiful place to come and visit, and you got to have that care there.
The new non-emergency center is expected to be up and running by St. Patrick's Day. We reached out to the Chatham County Public Information Office as well as Chatham EMS to ask about reports relating to the CAD software failing to find addresses in the Southbridge area. We will update you on air and online when we hear back. Sarah Smith, WSAV News 3, on your side.